The following is a presentation of Washington and Lee men's basketball on 91.5 FM WLUR Lexington. Now let's go live to the gymnasium. Here is Jeremy Franklin.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome inside Nightingale Hall here in Bridgewater, Virginia. The Washington and Lee men's basketball team on the road tonight to wrap up the month of January with a contest against the Eagles of Bridgewater College. Jeremy Franklin with you for the broadcast. WDL coming in at 6-4 in ODAC play, 13-6 overall. The Generals have dropped 2 of their last 3 after they opened the calendar year with a 4-game winning streak. 5 straight victories overall before a loss to Lynchburg a couple of weeks ago. 2 close losses to 2 very good basketball teams, 82-79 against the Hornets of Lynchburg, 73-71 this past Saturday on the road against the defending ODAC champions Emory and Henry, sandwiched around a 15-point home victory over Shenandoah. The Generals slipping in the ODAC standings just because it is so clogged up top. WNL was tied for 3rd just a week ago, but now all the way down into a tie for 6th with Emory and Henry, but just 1 game out of 3rd place in the loss column. Bridgewater, meanwhile, has lost 5 of its last 6. In fact, a 5-game skid snapped by the Eagles with a great second half and a 79-72 win at Hampton-Sydney on Saturday. They are now 3-7 in the ODAC and 8-11 overall, fighting for their postseason lives right now. Unlike in past years where all 12 teams have qualified for the ODAC tournament, only 10 of what is now 13 will go. Ferrum added to the league, and the tournament scaled back, so the 11, 12, and 13 teams will not compete in the postseason this year. Bridgewater is tied with Ferrum, half game ahead of Randolph. The Wildcats would be the first team eliminated at this point, so running out of time in terms of qualifying for the ODAC tournament for Bridgewater and improving the seeding for Washington and Lee. This will be the 11th out of 16 league games for both of these teams, and the second against one another in 2018-19. The Generals got their first ODAC victory of the season at home against Bridgewater back on the 5th of December, 87-70. Actually trailed most of the first half in that game, took the lead right before halftime, and then outscored Bridgewater by 15 in the second half. Mark Lamondola, 18 points for the first year, still his career high, 14 apiece for Roy McMillan and Devin Kearns. Curtis Mitchell had 8 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. He leads the ODAC and is in the top 10 in the country in block shots per game. The 6'8" sophomore who starts in the post for WNL. Bridgewater in that game led by 13 apiece from Josh Cammon and Davrion Greer. The Eagles have been a really good team at times this season. Before their 5-game losing streak, they had won 5 out of 6 and were scoring over 81 points per game. But during that skid that just ended on Saturday, averaging about 61 points per game, the Generals had a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing against Bridgewater last season. They won 101-89 against the Eagles at home, but then came here almost a year ago to the date and lost 79-62. A lot of turnovers and poor shooting doomed Washington and Lee in that contest. Busy night in the ODAC. 12 of the 13 teams in action. First place Randolph-Macon is at Shenandoah. Big game between Lynchburg, currently in 3rd, at Roanoke. One of the teams tied for 4th place. The other team in that mix is Virginia Wesley. The Marlins are at Hampton-Sydney. Emory and Henry playing host to Ferrum. Eastern Mennonite at Randolph. 2 of the teams right around Bridgewater in the standings. And back in Lexington, women's basketball action for WNL taking on Randolph. Christine Clancy's team tied for 3rd place in those standings after a victory over Shenandoah at home on Saturday. Tonight's broadcast of Generals basketball coming to you live on WLUR Lexington, 91.5 FM and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. It is brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Owned and operated by WNL, the University Store is located right on campus in Elrod Commons. The store features a wide range of apparel celebrating Washington and Lee, including the Peter Millar Collegiate Collection, offering polos and sweaters for your game day style. If you're looking for workout gear, we have a variety of performance apparel from Nike and Under Armour. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic alumni and student programs. The store is open 7 days a week. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu. Just about set to go here. Washington and Lee and Bridgewater will be back with starting lineups and first half action on WLUR and WLUR All Access.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek. This cheek. Then go to giftoflife.org and request a free kit so that you can swab a cheek and save a life.
Once again, welcome live inside Nightingale Hall in Bridgewater. Washington and Lee taking on the Eagles of Bridgewater College in ODAC men's basketball tonight. Jeremy Franklin with you as the Generals trying to get to 7-4 in ODAC play. 130th time these two teams have squared off in men's basketball. The Generals lead the series 78-51. They have taken 4 of the last 5, but the lone Bridgewater victory during that span was the last meeting here on the BC campus, 79-62, January 31st of 2018. The Generals turned the ball over 22 times and shot just 34% from the field in that game. Dimitri Chambers, who is the Eagles' leading scorer this season, had 21 points for Bridgewater in that game. So here are the starting lineups. First for Sean Pastiglione's Bridgewater team. It will include Chambers, the 5'11 sophomore from Savannah, Georgia, along with Jimmy Sanders, 5'8 first year from Mansfield, Texas. Josh Kamen, 6'3 sophomore from Covington, Georgia. Davrion Greer, 6'5 junior from Charlotte. And Monty Simpkin, 6'4 junior from Fort Washington, Maryland. Regular starters for Chris McHugh and Washington and Lee. That'll be Devin Kearns, 6'3 senior from Cibolo, Texas. William Brueggemann, 6'3 sophomore from Houston. Mark Lamendola, 6 foot first year from Pittsburgh. Roy McMillan, 6'5 senior from Raleigh. And Curtis Mitchell, the 6'8 sophomore from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Roy McMillan, third in the ODAC in scoring and fourth in rebounding, 18.2 points and 9.3 boards tonight. Devin Kearns, 14.7 points and then 5.1 assists per game, good for second in the conference. William Brueggemann averages 13.9. On the Bridgewater side, Dimitri Chambers, 15.1 points and 3.5 assists. Kamen, 11.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, and Davrion Greer, 10.2 points per game. Generals in road blue tonight, white letters and numbers, white and silver trim Bridgewater in the home white with crimson numbers, crimson and gold trim. Curtis Mitchell and Davrion Greer in the center circle to get us underway. The tap controlled by the Eagles, who go left to right in the first half. Courtside here at Nightingale Hall. Glad you could be with us. Hope you are somewhere indoors and warm. Eagles have it. Right side three up and good for Dimitri Chambers. A contested shot, but he buries it. And the Eagles strike on their first possession. At the other end, Mitchell gets it top of the key. Couple of dribbles, hands off to Lamendola. Eagles in man-to-man. Lamendola off to the right side to McMillan. Back to Lamendola. Now left wing to Devin Kearns. 13 to shoot. Kearns against Chambers. Fires it out for Lamendola. Now Mitchell on the perimeter. 7 to shoot. Inside it comes to Kearns. Great spin move to get around one man. He lays it up and in. Scoring with his shot clock running down. Devin Kearns makes it 3-2. Ahead comes Chambers. At the other end, feeds right side. And The three is up, no good for Jimmy Sanders, rebounded by Curtis Mitchell. Big size advantage, at least with the starting lineup for the Generals. Mitchell at 6'8", towering over everybody else on the Eagles roster. And Curtis Mitchell throwing a nice pass inside to Devin Kearns on the back cut. He misses the open layup, though, and the Eagles have the basketball. Greer runs the floor, feeds ahead to Chambers. Nothing in transition. Good hustle back by Washington and Lee. 3-2 Bridgewater, 18:39 to play first half. Josh Kamen on the attack, slings it back out to Chambers, thinking about a long three over Brueggemann. Now he takes it to the elbow. Bounce pass inside, a tough one for Kamen. It got away against a double team. Amendola to the deck to retrieve the basketball. Now William Brueggemann runs the floor, gliding around his man. He lays it up and in to put the Generals in front in a very early timeout here for Sean Pastiglione. 4-3 Washington and Lee with 18:20 to go. Fourth season at Bridgewater for the former Randolph-Macon assistant Sean Pastiglione. He's 35-61 here. A 14-12 campaign last year, though, after the Eagles had won just 13 games combined across his first 2 seasons. On the Randolph-Macon staff for Nathan Davis back in 2014-15 when the Yellow Jackets won 28 games and reached the national quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we continue to be impressed with what Chris McHugh has done at his alma mater, class of 09. 30-16, the 17 wins for the Generals last year, their most in almost a decade, and their highest ODAC finish in over 30 years. Picking up some pressure coming out of the Bridgewater timeout. Kearns has Chambers at midcourt. He gets it over. Chambers trying to attack. Now stops top of the key, feeds it right side to Sanders. Sanders on the wing, now into the lane. Flings it to the corner, and then off balance. 3-ball is up and good for Chambers with Brueggemann's hand in his face. He's hit a couple for the Eagles. Generals racing down the floor. Comes inside to Mitchell, back to McMillan. Right wing, Brueggemann for 3. That's no good, but Curtis Mitchell got a piece of the rebound, and then it's knocked out by Simpkins. 6-4 Eagles, 17:44 to play. First change of the game, that'll be for Bridgewater as Chandler Murray, the 5'10 junior guard, comes in and replaces Simpkins. Into Mitchell left baseline. Mitchell driving, double teamed, leans in, muscles it up, no, and the rebound is Sanders. Sanders running the floor. Now it comes to Chambers. Chambers on the attack. The finger roll blocked by Mitchell. Brueggemann launches it ahead to McMillan. He's got a step on everybody, and McMillan lays it up and in. Transition basket to tie the game at 6. The Eagles pushing it right back up the floor. Breathless pace in the early going here. Now attacking from out front is Kamen. He has his shot rejected by Mitchell. Another block already for the big man. Mitchell running the floor. Good hustle by Kamen to knock away the pass. Mitchell gets it back, though. Misses from close range, but he's fouled in the process. Already a couple of block shots for Curtis Mitchell, who averages over 3 per game. Just to put that in perspective, the Eagles' Davrion Greer is second in the ODAC in blocks, averaging under 2 a game. Mitchell currently 9th in the NCAA, and his 58 blocks this season, the 4th most all-time in 1 year for W&L. Foul shot is no good. Mitchell hit the first but misses the second, and so it's 7-6 Washington and Lee. Sanders missing in traffic down low. The Eagles wasting no time getting off shots on their offensive possessions. Have they forced a Generals turnover here? Not quite. It was knocked away from Mitchell at midcourt, but last touch by the Eagles when it went back across the timeline. So the Generals have it up 1. Alex Starr and Kevin Denton have come on for Washington and Lee. William Brueggemann out front. Brueggemann driving and traveling in the process as he tried to draw a foul. That'll bring another substitution as Mark Krogan replaces Mitchell. Regular rotation for the Generals to bring those 3 in off the bench. Starr, Denton, and Krogan, and play for a bit with Brueggemann and Kearns. 1-point Generals lead after 3.5 minutes. Handled out front by Chambers. Now sends it left wing to Kamen. Kamen gives the ball to Murray. Murray to the foul line. Denied there. Kicks it back out to Sanders. 10 to shoot. Longer possession this time for the Eagles. Sanders on the wing. Out top to Greer. Comes around to Murray. 2 to shoot. Murray to the corner. The 3 is on the way. It rolls in off the side of the iron, but they'll say that Greer did not get it off in time. So a shot clock violation on Bridgewater. This after the Eagles, the last few trips down, had rushed in and jacked up a quick one. 15:57 to go. Generals by 1. Kern's pass inside deflected and stolen away. TJ Turner in for Bridgewater. He runs the floor. Gets it back in the corner. Off a feed from Josh Kamen. Now attacking is Greer. Got around Brueggemann with a good first step, but he misses the layup. Now Brueggemann at the other end. And another traveling call on William Brueggemann. Generals were hoping for a whistle going their way with a potential reach-in. Turnovers plagued the Generals here last season. They had 22 of them in that 17-point defeat.
Good guard, Tim. Good, Roy. Stay there.
Brueggemann and Kearns out. McMillan back in. Tevin Panchel also on the floor. Trey Lewis is back in uniform tonight if the Generals need an extra option at guard. They cut the rotation from 10 down to 9 the last couple of contests with him injured. Steal for Washington and Lee. Alex Starr ends up with it. Generals have numbers. McMillan fakes the pass to Krogan. Takes a bump and finishes. Second bucket for McMillan. And a 9-6 Generals lead. 6 straight W&L points. 15 minutes to play, first half. Turner at the point now for the Eagles. Stops on the wing. Sends it back out to Chambers. Chambers down the lane. Trying to lean around Starr. He gets the call. And Dimitri Chambers will shoot 2. Foul is the first on the Generals. It's on Starr. And Chambers heading to the line. 12th in the ODAC in scoring, tied for 6th in assist. As the ODAC Rookie of the Year a season ago, the 398 points he scored in 2017-18, the most ever by a first year at Bridgewater. He's got all 7 points now for BC as he hits the first of his 2 foul shots. Second on the way, that's also good. And it's 9-8 Washington and Lee, 14:44 to play, first half. Tevin Panchel for the Generals, working on the wing against Kamen. Panchel bounce pass out front to Krogan. Krogan hands off to Denon, best 3-point shooter in the conference. Nothing there for Denon, feeds the baseline to Starr. 11 to shoot. Starr, skip to Panchel. Deep left corner, Denon, inside Krogan. Krogan trying to post up against a double team. Shot blocked by Kamen. Krogan recovers, kicks it to Panchel, who beats the shot clock buzzer with a 3-point attempt, but it rolls off the rim, no good. At the other end, it's Turner, leaving it off for Kamen. Chance for Bridgewater to regain the lead. Kamen gliding by McMillan, reverse layup, good and one. What a move by Josh Kamen, showing off the athleticism. He's got a 3-point play opportunity.
Number 33, Mark Brown.
So the first Eagle other than Chambers to score is Kamen, who averages 11.7 a game, second on the team. And a foul shot coming for Kamen, 56% at the line this season. Bridgewater back in front, 14:01 to play in the first half. Kamen's free throw good, it's 11-9. Devin Kearns has come back in for the Generals, so have Lamondola and Mitchell and Brueggemann. So it's back to the starting lineup as McMillan completes the set. McMillan down the lane. The leaner is up, no good, but he's fouled. And free throws coming for the senior from Raleigh.
Bridgewater, number 34, Ken Stansel, his first, team second.
And the foul is on Ken Stansel, who's back in the lineup for Bridgewater tonight. And free throws coming for Roy McMillan when we return. 13:50 to play in the first half, a 2-point lead for Bridgewater.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Under 14 timeout here in Bridgewater. The Eagles lead Washington and Lee 11-9. Free throws coming for Roy McMillan. He and Devin Kearns have both joined the 1,000-point club this season. 26th and 27th members of that elite group. McMillan coming in with 1,083 points. So now give him 1,087. He's hit a couple of buckets tonight. He's been in double figures in every game this year. He's hit 20 points 6 times and 30 points once, 31 against Center in the Generals home tournament in late December. The foul line has not been good for Roy as of late, though. He's just 7 of his last 19 over the past 7 games. On the season, 61%. He's got 2 coming up after the foul was on Ken Stansel for Bridgewater, making his first appearance for the Eagles in 3 weeks. First one here up and good for McMillan. Stansel is out there with Chambers, Turner, Kamen, and Simpkins. And McMillan hitting both this time. And we are knotted up at 11. Generals again extending the defense. Comes to Turner just shy of midcourt. And a bounce pass away to Kamen to avoid a potential double team. Turner directing traffic. Feeds it to Simpkins high post. Right side Chambers. Back out it comes to Turner. Turner handed off to Kamen, or trying to. Bad pass. Kamen had to save it in bounds. Now a long 3 for Chambers is an air ball. He was trying to sell a foul from Devin Kearns and did not get the call. And it goes out of bounds back to Washington and Lee. Up the floor comes Kearns. Left corner, Brueggemann fires up the 3, no. Offensive rebound, Mitchell goes back up, and it looked like Simpkins maybe got a piece of the putback attempt. At the other end, inside to Stansel. Feeds the corner. Kamen driving baseline and throws it away. Tried to underhand it to Simpkins. It's stolen by Kearns. At the other end, Lamondola from the left corner. Drives into the lane and then travels. Another situation where the Generals wanted a foul. We haven't had a lot of whistles in the first 7+ minutes here, just 2 fouls each way. Those have all been shooting fouls. 11-all, 12:50 to go. Davrion Greer back in for the Eagles, brought up by Dimitri Chambers, who has yet to leave the floor. Chambers up to the left sideline to Jimmy Sanders. Back across to Murray. Now Sanders again on the perimeter to the high post Stansel. Inside Greer pinned to the baseline and has the ball poked out of bounds with his shot clock at 11. Inbounding is Chambers. He'll work it into Stansel. Great shot fake by Stansel, and then Curtis Mitchell with the block as Stansel went for the dunk. And then Stansel, some frustration. He reaches in and fouls Mitchell, and that'll be his second personal. That's 3 blocks already for Curtis Mitchell. Really none more emphatic than when you block a guy's dunk attempt. So Stansel, again, back in the lineup for the first time in 3 weeks. He doesn't play very much here in the first half before getting his second foul. At the other end, Lamondola, deep left corner. Lamondola, nice baseline drive. Finish not there. Another offensive rebound for Mitchell. Ball poked away. Sliding after it is Kamen. He gets it at midcourt. Feeds ahead to Chandler Murray, and he gets rejected by McMillan trying to go 1-on-2. Lamondola was back as well. Generals racking up the blocks. McMillan joining Mitchell's little party going on. 5'10", trying to challenge an athletic 6'5" guy on the break. The odds not in Chandler Murray's favor there. Mark Lamondola, who's the Generals leader in steals, almost swipes the inbounds pass from Murray. Right back out of bounds to the Eagles. 12:04 to play in the first half. We are tied at 11. Now Sanders has it out front, guarded by Lamendola. Comes around a Greer screen. Now he's got Mitchell on him. Sanders will give it up to Greer, who's working against Lamendola in another mismatch. Greer away to Kamen to the foul line. Lamendola denies the entry pass, comes back to Kamen. Out to Sanders, 5 to shoot. Sanders to the corner. 3 ball is on the way. An air ball that time from Cameron Williams, and the Generals have it running back the other way. Lamendola out front to Brueggemann. Lob inside. Somehow makes it through to Mitchell, who posts up and scores. He was being fronted by the 5'10 Murray. And a touch pass. Just had enough on it to get over Murray and into the hands of Mitchell. His layup puts the Generals up 13-11, and Bridgewater already spinning its second timeout of the first half here. Second time out already, I should say, and we're not even 9 minutes into the first half. Back in Lexington, quick update for you. 30 seconds left in the first quarter of the WNL women's game. The Generals lead Randolph 15-10. You can watch that game online at generalsports.com. Andy Smithy, who's been in great form for Washington and Lee, already has 7 points for the Generals. 13-11 here, and it is Bridgewater basketball. Sanders, Williams, Murray, Kamen, and Greer playing against Krogan, Denon, Brueggemann, Lamendola, and Kearns. Kamen wing left side for the Eagles. Sends it out to Sanders. Now high post. Williams away to Kamen, left corner. Kamen off to the wing to Sanders. 8 to shoot. Now Kearns swipes away the pass out front. Transition. Devin Kearns gets his second basket and puts the Generals up 15-11. Already 5 Bridgewater turnovers. Generals have committed 6, but Bridgewater hasn't scored off of any of them. A couple of dead ball turnovers, traveling violations in particular. Here's Kamen, left elbow, jump shot, no. Rebound to Krogan. Now Kearns will ship it ahead of Lamendola. Nothing there in transition. And the Generals will run their half-court set. Kearns left side, Lamendola. Lamendola dribbling top of the key. Now feeds the wing to Kearns. Back to Lamendola on the cut. Knocked away by Kamen. Lamendola gets it back. 9 to shoot. Here's Kearns driving in. Baseline floater, no. And the rebound secured by Greer. Greer running the floor. One-on-one with Krogan. Running layup, no. More good defense by one of the Generals' bigs. Now Brueggemann back the other way. He's stripped on the way up by Kamen. In a different game, there might have been a foul at each end, but they're letting him play tonight, as they say. 15-11 WNL, 9:54 to play in the opening period. Sanders gets into the lane, kicks to the corner to Williams. Inside to Greer, the floater is up and good. First points in a while for the Eagles, the first tonight for Davrion Greer. It's 15-13. And a quick traveling violation at the other end. So a 7th Washington and Lee turnover. The Generals normally pretty sharp in terms of taking care of the basketball. WNL team that only averages, well, I can't do the math that quickly, but about 15 a game. We'll leave it at that. 284 turnovers in 19 games. Get out your calculator. I thought the average was going to be on the sheet in front of me. It was not. Dimitri Chambers back in for the Eagles. Timmy Sanders has it out front. Comes around the screen. Fires to the corner. 3 is up. No good for Murray. And the rebound to Krogan. Now Denon ahead to McMillan, who's cherry picking at the other end. And he gets the layup. Roy McMillan just beat everybody back down the floor. McMillan has 8, and the Generals lead at 17-13. Chambers up top for BC. Bounce pass to Kamen at the foul line. Right wing, 3 ball up for Sanders. About 2 feet beyond the rim is where it lands. And the loose ball picked up by Denon. Now Kearns on the left wing at the opposite end. Kearns to the corner. Denon, quick release on the 3. It's good. He gets open like that. He's not going to miss too many. That's the first made 3 tonight for the Generals. Kevin Denon to make it 20-13, and Sean Pastiglione is going to run out of timeouts before halftime at this rate. Another stoppage here. Generals up 7 with 8:42 to go. We'll be right back.
The Rockbridge Area Health Center is a community health center providing family medicine, pediatrics, women's health, dental, behavioral health, and prenatal services to uninsured, underinsured, and insured residents of Rockbridge County and the surrounding areas. RAHC's current building expansion will allow us to better meet the needs of our community. The health center offers a variety of discount programs, including help with the cost of appointments and prescriptions. For more information, visit rockahc.org or call us at 540-464-8700.
Washington and Lee on a 9-2 scoring run. The Generals have opened up a 7-point lead. Roy McMillan's got 8 points. A couple of buckets for Devin Kearns. We just saw a 3-ball dropped in by Kevin Denon. The junior from Severna Park, Maryland, is on pace to set the single-season three-point shooting record at WNL. Andy Kleinlein, who graduated a couple of years ago, shot 48.4% in 2015-16. Denon is at 51.9%. Tops in the conference. And among the nation's leaders, or he would be if he qualified, doesn't have quite enough makes. He averages about 2.2 per game, and the threshold is 2.5. Generals in a matchup zone now. Murray open left side three, no. And long rebound run down by McMillan. McMillan about to go out of bounds, saves it into Curtis Mitchell, who was trying to find Denon spotting up in the corner. And Mitchell threw an errant pass that's out of bounds back to the Eagles. That's the 9th Washington and Lee turnover. Uncharacteristic mistakes, perhaps, but still up by 7. Cameron, left wing three is good. He was open for a split second. And he pulls Bridgewater back within 4. 8:05 to play in the half. Tevin Panchel out front to Denon. Lob to the cutting Mitchell. Mitchell sees a guard in front of him. Post up, spins off that guard. That was Turner. Lays it up and in and gets fouled.
Have a basket for Curtis Mitchell. Fouls on Bridgewater number 2, TJ Turner, his first team foul.
So a 3-point play chance for Curtis Mitchell, who's already got a bunch of blocks to go along with 5 points and 5 rebounds. 1 of 2 at the foul line. Just a 48% free throw shooter. He's short on this one. It's 22-16. Brought ahead by Murray up the left side to Kamen. Back to Murray. Kamen again on the wing. He'll try for another three, and he's got it. That zone may not last too long if the Eagles continue to shoot the ball like that. Josh Kamen's got 9 points. It's a 3-point game. Alex Starr on the wing. Alex Starr on the attack. Feed back out to McMillan. Starr again gets it in the corner. Away to Denon. Open. Right side three is up. Well, maybe not quite that open. It looked like Kamen closing out late got a little piece of the ball as it did not hit the rim. And about to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Eagles. And so it will stay with Washington and Lee. Now Chris McHugh will take a timeout. 7:27 to play. It's 22-19. The Generals in front despite 9 first-half turnovers. Bridgewater shooting just 30% from the field, but we have seen the 2 makes over the last couple of minutes from downtown by Josh Kamen. He's got 9. Chambers has 8 for Bridgewater. McMillan 8, Mitchell 5, Kearns 4 for Washington and Lee. Early update on some of the other games in the ODAC tonight. Emory and Henry 19, Ferrum 18 with 8:21 to play in the first half. Virginia Wesleyan leads Hampton Sydney 23-15. 7:54 to go. Randolph-Macon on top of Shenandoah 45-20 with 6 minutes left. The Yellow Jackets scored 68 points in the first half against Shenandoah when they played in Ashland. And then should be about to tip off between Lynchburg and Roanoke. 7:30 start in Salem tonight. One more score, Eastern Mid-Night 26, Randolph 17. 22-19 here, Washington and Lee. Kevin Denon for 3 off the inbounds pass, short, contested shot. And here comes Sanders for Bridgewater. Sanders, Kamen, Chambers, Murray, Greer for the Eagles. And we'll set the Generals 5 in a moment. They're about to make 2 subs. Driving layup is up and good for Davrion Greer. And Bridgewater's within 1. And Curtis Mitchell going up for a layup at the other end and is rejected by Greer, who came from out of nowhere when it looked like Mitchell was wide open. Eagles can go back in front here. And they nearly turned it over themselves. Camden had to save it in, throw it off the foot of Denon, and back out it goes. Brueggemann and Lamondola returning for the Generals. They'll play with Kearns, McMillan, and Mitchell. So Chris McHugh has his starting lineup back on the floor. That last defensive play for Greer, the number 2 guy in the ODAC in blocks, rejecting number 1. Chambers driving baseline, scores, and Bridgewater with a nice little spurt here, 23-22 Eagles. Already 10 points for Chambers, who's been in double figures in all but 2 of his appearances this season. Lamondola open left side, 3 no good. He had 5 of them the first go-round against Bridgewater. Another offensive rebound for Mitchell, and as he tries to go back up, the ball is swatted out of bounds. 6:30 to go. Generals have it on the baseline. Kearns inbounding, has to lob it out front to Mitchell. Mitchell dribbles to the wing, gives it to Lamondola. Lamondola has the ball jarred away. Here comes Kamen. Numbers for the Eagles. Chambers spotting up for a right corner 3. He's got it. And Bridgewater is up by 4. 13 for Chambers. Here's Curtis Mitchell on the drive. He gets fouled and will shoot 2. That'll be the first on Dimitri Chambers.
Curtis Mitchell will shoot 2.
It's a 10-0 scoring run for Bridgewater. Mitchell will try to snap it at the line where he's 1 of 3. Off target on the first one here. Simpkins will return for the Eagles. Out goes Greer with 6:08 to play. Already double digits in turnovers for Washington and Lee. Mitchell gets the second to go to make it 26-23. Murray running the floor, ahead to Kamen. His 3-ball off target. Simpkins the offensive rebound, and he's fouled on the second chance attempt. So Monty Simpkins will be shooting 2. I believe that'll be on McMillan. It is, and that's his first.
Washington lead number 34, Roy McMillan. His first.
Monty Simpkins
will shoot
to the line. Junior from Fort Washington, Maryland. Made his 17th start of this season tonight. He averages 1.9 points and 3.2 rebounds. 38% at the foul line this year, and he bricks the first off the back iron. 5:59 remaining in the half. 3-point Eagle lead, pinning the second shot for Simpkins. That's good to make it 27-23. Eagles now 4 of 5 at the foul line. Been a while since the Generals hit a field goal. 11-1 Bridgewater run. Turns away to McMillan, top of the key. Trey is no good. Lamondola with the offensive rebound. Post-up basket, no. Now we got a foul, I believe, on the rebound after the Lamondola miss. Actually, no, just a late whistle. And they will put Mark Lamondola at the line for 2. First on Jimmy Sanders. Lamondola's free throw up and good. He has not had a great deal of success at the foul line, although he hasn't been there a whole lot. He's now 8 out of 19.
Watch the middle here. Horn down. 5.
First point of the game for Lamondola, whose career high 18 came against Bridgewater in Lexington in December. Second free throw, no. So 1 of 2 for Lamondola, 27-24. And at the other end, TJ Turner inside to Simpkins, trying to post up Brueggemann, leans around him. Layup is good. Bounced twice off the back iron and fell in. Eagles have a 5-point lead. Generals need a basket. Only a couple of free throws over the last few minutes. Kearns being pestered by Chambers out front. Chambers takes the ball away. Chambers transition, layup good and 1. Devin Kearns, you don't see him make a ton of mistakes, and certainly not 2 big ones back-to-back like that to lose the basketball and then to commit a foul when he didn't really have a good chance to break up this shot. And Eagles are up by 7. 15-2 stretch for Bridgewater. Generals' last field goal coming at the 7:55 mark. Chambers' free throw is good. He's had a monster first half. Already 16 points for the sophomore from Savannah. And now they got him for a hand check out front, and that'll be his second. And it's also the 7th team foul, so Devin Kearns will shoot 1-1.
Devin Kearns will shoot 1-1.
See if Chambers will come out. Looks like he will. Turner, Sanders, and Greer all in. Murray still out there. 1-1 for Devin Kearns. Front end good. 77% foul shooter. Fifth Eagle on the floor right now is Kim, and it's McMillan, Krogan, Brueggemann, Lamendola, and then Kearns for the Generals. Devin knocks them both down. And cuts the Bridgewater lead down to 6, and then Chris McHugh will take a timeout, as will we. 32-26 Bridgewater, 5:03 to play. First half. We'll be right back. You're listening to Generals Basketball on WLUR and WLUR All Access.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Jeremy Franklin back with you as Washington and Lee trails Bridgewater 32-26. Eagles have exploded for 16 points in the last 3 minutes. And the Generals have not hit a field goal during that stretch. They have knocked down a few foul shots. And so a 6-point lead has turned into a 6-point deficit. Washington and Lee scored 101 points against the Eagles in Lexington last year and then scored 62 here and lost. Hoping to avoid a similar fate after beating BC at home earlier this season as well. Kamen from the foul line, pulls up, 12-footer, no good. And the rebound knocked into the hands of Brueggemann. It's 2-on-5, so Brueggemann waits for the cavalry to arrive. And now Mark Krogan went down behind the play and has stayed down, so the officials will stop play, and he limps off the court. Mark Krogan, the 6'6 junior from Rye, New York, who's been such a factor on the glass and on defense this season. That's a big loss to the rotation if he's not able to return. For now, Curtis Mitchell back in the ball game. And it comes into Devin Kearns. Now McMillan, top of the key. It's Mitchell on the cut. Mitchell slings to the corner. Brueggemann wide open, but can't hit the three. And the rebound saved in by Cammon. Threw it off the leg of Kearns, and it's picked up by Greer. Now Sanders running the floor. Hands off to T.J. Turner. He'll launch the three. That's no good. And the long rebound to Mitchell. Generals seeking their first field goal in almost 4 minutes, and it's not going to come here. Kearns threw a tough pass for McMillan into the lane. Cammon went to the deck to retrieve it. McMillan tied him up, though, and the Generals do keep it on the alternating possession. Could have been another turnover for Washington and Lee. Already 11 of those for the Generals in the first half. Mitchell handing off to Brueggemann. Back to Mitchell underneath. Good post-up bucket as Mitchell again had a guard defending him down low off a switch. Mitchell has 8, and there is that elusive field goal for the Generals. Their first in almost 4 minutes. Makes it a 4-point game. Left side, Turner. Drives baseline, shut off there by Brueggemann. Inside, Greer. Defense collapses. He kicks it out to Murray. Murray away to Sanders. Sanders to the foul line. Left side, 3 ball is on the way. No good for Turner. And a battle for the rebound. And there's a foul on the Generals during that sequence against Lamendola. Looked like Greer had come over the back of Mitchell. And not only that, they're saying that The Bridgewater player, Josh Kamen, was in the act of shooting. He was trying to tip the ball in. So 2 free throws for Kamen, who is 1 of 1 at the line tonight, 56% on the season. First one here, no good. Kevin Dinnan, Tevin Panchel back in for Washington and Lee. Off come Lamondola and Kearns. And Cameron Williams is back out there for Bridgewater. Haven't seen Dimitri Chambers since he picked up that second foul. Another missed free throw, and again, the Generals having trouble corralling the rebound. Ultimately, though, Mitchell gets it. At the other end, McMillan gets fouled on the entry pass from Brueggemann. Kamen reaching in. That'll be his first, but it's team foul number 8, so Roy McMillan will shoot 1 and 1. Generals are 7 of 11 at the foul line in the first half. McMillan 2 for 2. And now Chambers is about to come back in the game. McMillan sinks the first. His 9th point. He can pull WNL to within 2 with 3:27 to play. Second for Roy is good. 7 of 19 over the last 7 games from the line, but 4 out of 4 tonight, and it's 32-30. More full-court defense from Washington and Lee's. It's brought up by Chambers. Dribbling out front now, swings it right side to Murray, who throws it up for grabs, and it's grabbed by Tevin Panchel. Panchel racing ahead, transition layup, no. Kevin Dinnan rebounds, though, and lays it up and in. So this game tied at 32 as the Generals get a transition bucket. At the other end, Sanders working between the circles, bounce pass ahead to Kamen. Back out to Sanders, left side to Murray. The Generals have stuck with the zone, not fazed by a couple of three-point makes from Bridgewater. Here's Greer from the high post, trying to drive around Mitchell. Now sends it to the corner. Murray is open for 3, and he hits. First points tonight for Chandler Murray. Bridgewater up 35-32. And a foul at the other end. Sanders, too much contact on Panchel. That'll be Jimmy Sanders' second. 9th team foul. So 1 and 1 for Tevin Panchel the first year from Belmont, California. Panchel on the season. 14 out of 17 at the line. .235 to play. The last single bonus chance for the Generals. And Panchel missing the front end. So it remains a 3-point Bridgewater lead. Ken Stansel back in for the Eagles, running the floor. Gets it away to Chandler Murray. Murray right side to Turner. Turner out front to Monty Simpkins. To the left wing to Williams. 13 to shoot. Williams off to Murray. Stops at the elbow. Jump shot is up, no good. And the rebound to Lamondola. Lamondola up the floor for the Generals. Stops out front, hands it off to Panchel. Left side, Dinnan. Good closeout by the Eagles. So no 3-point shot for Dinnan. Back out to Panchel. Dinnan again. Feeds the baseline. Mitchell driving in. A lot of contact, no whistle. Gets it back and then gets fouled on the floor. Looked like there was more contact on the shot than when Mitchell came back down, but the end result is 2 free throws because it is team foul number 10 on the Eagles. Mitchell 2 of 5 at the line tonight, just a 48% foul shooter. Generals has a team 9 out of 14 at the line. First one here, no good for Mitchell. Kearns back in for Panchel. Kamen, Greer, and Chambers all check back in for the Eagles. Murray and Turner stay out there. 1:53 to play. First half, Generals down 3. Pending the second foul shot for Mitchell. That's no good.
Yep, he's out.
And the Eagles had to track down the rebound in the corner, but they do keep it in play. Murray for BC. Murray hits Turner on the cut. He lost control, got it back, feeds Chambers in the corner. Dimitri Chambers nails another 3. Already 19 points for Chambers and a 6-point Eagle lead with 90 seconds to play. Curtis Mitchell, top of the key. Hands off to Lamendola. Lamendola away to McMillan. McMillan down the lane. Hands off to Mitchell. Layup good. Curtis Mitchell already in double figures with 10. He's now been in double digits in scoring in 4 straight games. 38-34, 1:04 to play. Turner working baseline. Stop and pop, 12-footer, no. Another rebound for Mitchell. He's got a first half double-double. 10 boards and 10 points for Mitchell. Denon for 3 off the dribble. That's no good from the left wing, and the rebound to Kamen. 46 seconds to play. Bridgewater by 4. Chandler Murray bodied up by Devin Kearns at the other end. It's Kearns' second, but it is just the 6th team foul, so no shots for the Eagles. They'll take it out with 42 seconds to go. Kearns will stay out there. Chris McHugh trusts his senior guard to not pick up a silly third foul in the final moments of the half here. Sanders for Bridgewater between the rings. Still working on the dribble. Gets it right back from Kamen. Quick exchange. Sanders drives. Left-handed floater. Good. Arced it up and over Curtis Mitchell. 40-34. First points for Sanders. Shot clock is off for the Generals. They could use a basket here. It has not been a great first half. A lot of turnovers. And not shooting the ball very well. 1 of 10 from 3 in particular. 9 to go. Kearns for midcourt. Starts it ahead to McMillan. McMillan from the left elbow. McMillan steps back, leans in at the elbow, misses. Mitchell's tap, no. Kearns gets it back. Layup at the buzzer would have counted, but it's short, and Bridgewater will take a 6-point lead into the half. Generals did not shoot the ball well. Bridgewater knocked down 7 threes and led by 19 points from Dimitri Chambers. Bridgewater in front at the break, 40-34. You're listening to Generals basketball on WLUR and WLUR All Access. When we come back, the swimming season winding down at WNL. Our own Nellie Cosgrove had the chance to visit with first-year Claudia Barnett. We'll hear that conversation in just a moment.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off.
We'd do anything for kids, yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Soon enough, it was up to me to be his housekeeper and financial manager, too. When he moved in, I became his cook and even his nurse. But no matter what roles I play, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the roles you play. So to help, we created aarp.org/caregiving, where you can connect with experts and other caregivers. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Halftime here at Nininger Hall. Bridgewater leads Washington and Lee 40-34. Dimitri Chambers with 19 first-half points for the Eagles, 4 of 5 from three-point range. Josh Kamen also had 10. Roy McMillan's got 10 for the Generals. Curtis Mitchell had a double-double in the first 20 minutes, 10 points and 10 rebounds. But Washington and Lee shot just 40% from the field and 10%, 1 of 10 from 3. They also left a lot of points on the table at the foul line, 9 out of 16, and then 11 turnovers. So not a clean first half at all for Washington and Lee. Full first half stats and some ODAC scores for you in just a bit. Right now it is time for the WLUR halftime conversation. The swimming regular season concludes this Saturday as the Generals head up to St. Mary's in Maryland, and the ODAC championship is just a couple of weeks away for Cammie Gardner's program. Both WNL teams, the men and the women, will be overwhelming favorites to win the conference championship. And both teams, especially the women's team, is hoping to do some damage at the NCAA championship in Greensboro in March. Our own Ellie Cosgrove caught up with one of the first-year members of the women's swimming team.
Hello, Washington and Lee sports fans. I'm Ellie Cosgrove, and today I'm being joined by a first-year swimmer, Claudia Barnett. Claudia, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Kind of just to start, can you tell us a little bit about what events you swim on the team?
I normally swim the 50 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, and the relays.
Gotcha. And which relays are you on?
It depends on the meet. Sometimes I swim the 200 medley relay, but I'm normally on the 200 freestyle relay and the 400 freestyle relay.
And when do they just, like, that seems kind of weird. So you don't know, like, until the week before what you're swimming that meet, or?
It's normally at the meet. Like, before we start the meet, they tell you what you're swimming.
Oh, that's awesome. So in practice during the week, is it pretty standard what you're practicing for, or is sometimes geared to what they think you're going to be swimming in the meet that upcoming weekend?
It kind of depends. For me, I mostly just swim freestyle, so I normally just practice freestyle. But for other people who swim other strokes, they kind of mix it up throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. And you've had a pretty successful first year here at Washington and Lee. I was talking to one of your senior teammates, Allison Murtagh. She was just telling me how well you've done. How has that been, you know, adjusting to college and having this success in the pool, just for you as a first-year athlete?
I think it's really helpful, the upperclassmen. Like, even if you have a bad swim, they all are really welcoming and make you feel good about how you swam. So I think the support system that the upperclassmen give us is really helpful.
And you guys are actually having VMI come to, you know, swim against you guys tomorrow. What is that like, getting that Division I experience? I play volleyball here at WNL, and we never really have, you know, D1 experience or playing D1 teams. So how is that kind of being able to compete against a D1 program?
VMI is definitely, I think, the only D1 program we swim against this year. But I think it's going to be really fun. I know their guys team is really competitive. I'm not sure about their girls team because I'm pretty sure it's kind of small. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to be that much different than some of the other D3 teams we've swam, for the girls' side at least. Mm-hmm. But the guys are definitely in for a competitive meet.
And you guys, after that, only have one other meet at St. Mary's, but then you have the ODAC tournament, ODAC championships at the Greensboro Aquatic Center. What are you guys are you guys looking towards that already, or preparing for that at all, or how does that kind of work in terms of your mindset?
We're all getting ready for ODACs. We haven't really started tapering, which is like resting for ODACs yet, but I think that should start in the next week or so. But we're all really excited because we should do pretty well this year.
Mm-hmm. And when you say tapering for swimming, is that, do you guys just not lift as much or not swim as much in the pool? Because I know you guys are literally in the pool morning and afternoon, which is crazy to me that you have 2 practices a day.
Yeah, I think we just make the lifting a little bit less, and we have some shorter practices, and we'll get out early some days and just swim less yards.
And I know you weren't, like, all you've known is the new aquatic center, but how has that been, being able to have that facility to practice in? For you as a first year, has it just been really nice compared to, like, maybe where you're used to practicing back home?
Yeah, it's a really nice pool. My pool back at home was not that nice. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't that good. But I've heard horror stories about the old pool, so I'm grateful that we have such a nice facility.
The old pool was kind of in the depths of the Warner Center, which was funny. And then looking past the ODAC tournament, you have NCAAs, and usually the WNL swim team does really well in NCAAs. Do you guys have any goals for that yet, or are you not looking that far ahead?
We are looking that far ahead. We're all trying to make individual events, which is going to be very tough. I don't know if I'm going to make an individual event, but our relays are definitely going to make NCAAs, so they should do well.
And would you be on both those relays that you've been swimming on, or would they put you on one versus the other?
It kind of depends on how I do at ODACs and how everyone else does. They just want to have the fastest and the highest scoring relay. So.
And then kind of for your freshman year, backing up a little bit, what was your goals going into this season, and what were you kind of looking forward to?
This season, I really just wanted to drop time and get my personal best, because my senior year of high school was kind of a plateau. I didn't really do as well as I wanted to. So I thought the change in pace and the change in coaches should have been good. And so far it has been.
And what was your, I guess, stroke of choice in high school? Did you have one that you favored over the others?
I was actually a breaststroker in high school. I never swam freestyle until my last meet. I just did it because I was like, hey, it's my last meet. And then I did kind of well. And then the coaches from WNL called me and texted me and were like, hey, you're going to swim freestyle when you come here. And I was like,
oh, wow.
I was like, okay.
Had you already committed by that point?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so they just saw the results of the meet and were like, oh, by the way, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I had. Thank you so much for joining me, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
For WLUR, I'm Ellie Cosgrove.
Our thanks to Ellie for that conversation with Claudia Barnett of the women's swimming team. Again, the Generals close out the regular season at St. Mary's on Saturday, and they'll be getting ready for the ODAC Championship. Overwhelming favorites, both WNL teams, men and women. That's February 15th through the 17th at the Greensboro Aquatic Center, which is also the host site for the NCAA Championship coming up in late March. Back here in Bridgewater, halftime score in ODAC men's basketball. The Eagles 40 and Washington and Lee 34. The Generals with 11 first-half turnovers, shot just 1 of 10 from 3. Dimitri Chambers went off for the Eagles, 19 points. He knocked down 4 3-pointers. And Bridgewater with the lead at the break. This would be a big one if the Eagles can get it. Currently 3-7 in ODAC play, and the Generals up at 6-4. One of those wins that could very well help Bridgewater punch its ticket to the ODAC tournament. Elsewhere tonight, back in Lexington, women's basketball game going on at the DTC. Washington and Lee leading Randolph 30-21 at the break. Christine Clancy's team trying to get to 10-4 in the conference. They had a narrow 5-point road win over Randolph earlier here in the month of January. Andy Smithy, 10 points in the first 20 minutes for Washington and Lee. ODAC men's scores from tonight. How about this early on? Roanoke 28, Lynchburg 10 with 8:24 to play. In the first half, Virginia Wesleyan leads Hampton-Sydney 38-29 at halftime. Randolph-Macon on top of Shenandoah 49-31 at the break. Emory and Henry with a narrow lead over Ferrum 33-30. And then in Lynchburg tonight, it's Eastern Mennonite 34 and Randolph 27. First half by the numbers here. Now again, Bridgewater shooting much better from 3 in particular than Washington and Lee. 7 of 16 versus 1 of 10. Overall, the Generals were 12 of 30 from the field. Bridgewater 14 of 34. WNL 9 of 16 at the foul line. Bridgewater 6 of 8. Plus 5 in the turnover column for the Eagles. Only 6 committed, and they forced 11. Generals plus 12 on the glass, 28-16. Chambers with 19. Josh Cammon had 10. Nobody else with more than 4 for Bridgewater. Curtis Mitchell with a first-half double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds. It's the 4th double-double period in his career. 3 of those have come here during his sophomore season. Roy McMillan had 10 points, Devin Kern 6, and Kevin Denon with 5. William Brueggemann just 2 points so far, 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. So the Generals down by 6 at the break. They trail Bridgewater 40-34. We'll take a timeout and come back with second half action. You're listening to Washington and Lee basketball on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek. This cheek. Then go to giftoflife.org and request a free kit so that you can swab a cheek and save a life.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The Rockbridge Area Health Center is a community health center providing family medicine, pediatrics, women's health, dental, behavioral health, and prenatal services to uninsured, underinsured, and insured residents of Rockbridge County and the surrounding areas. Our AHC's current building expansion will allow us to better meet the needs of our community. The health center offers a variety of discount programs, including help with the cost of appointments and prescriptions. For more information, visit rockahc.org or call us at 540-464-8700.
Welcome back inside Nightingale Hall here in Bridgewater. Jeremy Franklin with you for our coverage on Generals basketball. You're listening live tonight on WLUR Lexington, 91.5 FM. WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. Started this second half, it's Bridgewater 40 and Washington and Lee 34. As the Generals try to avoid the upset bug on the road. WNL 6-4 in the conference, coming in 13-6 overall, and beat this Bridgewater team by 17 at home back in December. Eagles at 8-11 on the season, 3-7 in the conference. 5-game losing streak prior to Saturday's victory at Hampton-Sydney. Got to find a way to slow down Dimitri Chambers, who had 19 in that first half. We told you Josh Kamen had 10. It's actually 9. Roy McMillan and Curtis Mitchell with 10 points apiece for the Generals. Mitchell already has 10 rebounds. Again, the first half double-double for the 6'8 sophomore, who had a bunch of blocks as well. Thompson, the ODAC, 9th in the country in that department. Starting 5 for the Generals: Kearns, McMillan, Mitchell, Brueggemann, and Lamondola. For the Eagles: Simpkins, Greer, Chambers, Sanders, and Kamen, so starters as well. Bridgewater starting the half with the basketball, but the Generals with a quick takeaway. At the other end, William Brueggemann the drive, the runner in and out, and rebounded by Simpkins. Left-handed attempt by Brueggemann. That was halfway down. It would not stick. And now a 3 is up and good for Monty Simpkins. And Bridgewater has a 9-point lead, its biggest of the game. Simpkins with 6. That's 3 times his scoring average. Kearns out front to Curtis Mitchell. Now McMillan, he'll fire up the deep 3, and it's nothing but net for Roy McMillan. That'll quiet the Bridgewater crowd. Second 3 the Generals have hit tonight. McMillan's got 13, 43-37. Simpkins on the perimeter at the other end, hands off to Kamen. He will fire up a tray. That won't go, and a good rebound for Lamondola. Lamondola runs the floor, stops top of the key now, dribbles left wing. Now drives inside and kicks it back out to Brueggemann. Brueggemann working baseline, and an offensive foul is called. That's awfully soft. Not a lot of contact there. Kamen went down like a feather, and he gets the whistle. First on Brueggemann, and that'll go down as the 12th Washington and Lee turnover. 18:44 to play, 6-point Bridgewater lead. Each team has knocked down a 3 ball in the early stages of the second half. Sanders on the right sideline, out front to Davrion Greer, dribbling to the elbow, and now handing off to Kamen. Kamen, little hesitation, drives baseline, reverse no over McMillan, who rebounds and forces it out to Brueggemann, and Brueggemann's fouled in transition. That'll be on Kamen, his second. First Bridgewater team foul of the second half. Brugman lobbing it into Devin Kearns in the deep backcourt. He'll bring it across. Now ahead to McMillan at the left elbow. McMillan hits Kearns on the back under, tries to, it was knocked away by Chambers. Another turnover. Here come the Eagles. Sanders spotting up. Transition three is good. Jimmy Sanders knocking down the tray. 46-37 Eagles. At the other end, Kearns driving dish to Mitchell. Layup good and one. A needless foul there by Bridgewater, as Mitchell was going to score no matter what. Foul is the third on Jimmy Sanders as well. And Sanders will exit, replaced by Chandler Murray. 17:57 to go. Mitchell at the foul line is just 2 of 7. Make it 3 of 8. He gets the three-point play to make it 46-40. 13 and 10 tonight for Mitchell. Chambers around the screen. Picked up by McMillan. Gives it up to Greer. Greer on the drive. Challenging Mitchell. Scores over Mitchell. What a tough shot for Davrion Greer from the low blocks. 48-40 Eagles. Kearns right wing at the other end. Skips it across to Brueggemann. Brueggemann attacking. Stripped to the basketball by Chambers. Another Generals turnover. Chambers, Euro step in transition. Missed the layup but drew the foul. Mark Lamendola got his money's worth. But Dimitri Chambers will shoot 2, and Washington and Lee having all kinds of trouble just taking care of the basketball tonight. 22 turnovers last season when the Generals lost here. That's 14 tonight. And 2 free throws for Chambers, who is 3 of 3 at the line. Make it 4 of 4, and he's got 20 points. 17:26 to play. Can put Bridgewater up by 10. And he does. Washington and Lee averages 14.9 turnovers per game, 6th in the conference. Already about to surpass that tonight. Alex Starr gets it out front. Starr feeds right corner. Denon for 3, good. The Generals could use a lot more of that. Great drive and dish there. Alex Starr, 2nd in the ODEC at assist to turnover ratio. Gets the dime on the Denon tray. It's 50-43. At the other end, Greer driving around Kearns. Feeds to the corner. The ball poked out by Mitchell. And out of bounds to the Eagles with a shot clock at 18.
Good job, Alex. Tough trace. Tough trace, Dev.
7-point game. 16:57 to go. Baseline inbounds play. The ball comes into Murray. Murray on the left wing. Wants to feed inside to Greer. He does. Greer pinned down low. Gets it to Ken Stancil. Posting up on Mitchell. Scores and one. Couple of times already this half that the Eagles have gone right at Mitchell. And a couple of times that they've scored. That's just the first foul on Mitchell. But a 3-point play chance for Stancil back in the rotation for the first time in 3 weeks. He picked up those 2 fouls quickly in the first half, so barely played. And a guy who was averaging 11.5 points and 6.4 rebounds. Back in there for Bridgewater. He hits the free throw, and it's right back to a 10-point lead. Alex Starr, top of the key, dribbles right wing. Now sends it across to Kearns. Kearns around a McMillan screen. Pulls up right elbow, jump shot, no. And the rebound to Davrion Greer. And then a steal for Devin Kearns. He picks the pocket of Chambers. Kearns, transition, layup, no. McMillan over the back on the rebound. Kearns got rejected. And then McMillan with the loose ball foul. And things not going the Generals' way early in this second half. Good sign for Washington and Lee, though. Mark Krogan, who took a hard fall in the first half, is back out there. Bad thing for the Generals. They're down by 10. Had the takeaway that time, but could not convert it. Chambers around his screen. Gets it out to Stancil. Stancil out of control down the lane and goes right out of bounds with the basketball after a 360. 9th BC turnover. Generals get it back down by 10. Tevin in for Devin. That's Panchel replacing Kearns. Panchel away to McMillan, starting in from the top of the key. Now feeds the corner to Krogan. Hands off to Denon. One dribble, and Denon to the baseline to McMillan. Skip pass to Panchel. Right corner three on its way. No good. Alex Starr, though, flying in to tap it in. Put back there for Starr, his first points, and then Chris McHugh will take a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 15:47 to play. Generals down by 8 on the road.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Well, road wins are tough to come by regardless of where the opponent is in the conference standings. The Generals are finding that out tonight. They trail Bridgewater 53-45 with 15:47 to go. A little bit of separation for the W&L women back home, taking on Randolph, now up 47-36 late in the third quarter. Taylor Casey, who is in the top 5 in the ODAC in scoring and who went 0 for 12 from the field the first time the Generals played the Wildcats back in Lynchburg. She's got 18 tonight. Andy Smithy with a dozen, and again a double-digit lead there for Washington and Lee. As soon as I say that, Randolph scores. It's 47-38. Bridgewater basketball. Generals send out Denon, Panchel, Starr, McMillan, and Krogan. For the Eagles, it's Stansel, Chambers, Turner, Kamen, and Greer. Eagles going the length of the floor. Washington and Lee will pick up some pressure. Ball comes into Turner. Panchel right there. A little zone press here. Chambers bringing it up against Denon. Now into the half-court set. Chambers right side to Turner. Turner to the elbow to Stansel. Bounce pass down low to Greer. Kick back out to Kamen. Pulls up at the elbow. Jump shot, no. Rebound tap to McMillan. Generals have it down by 8. McMillan stops right wing, now drives in, gets all the way to the rim. Took a bump, no whistle, no shot, blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with W&L with the shot clock at 20 as Brueggemann and Kearns come back on for Panchel. And it looks like McMillan will get a break here. He thought he was fouled on that last drive. I did too. Ball comes into Mark Krogan. Now Kearns. Kearns the drive and dish to Starr. Starr working baseline and throws it away. That doesn't happen often. As we told you a moment ago, first in the ODAC in assist to turnover ratio. If I'm not mistaken, that's his 11th turnover of the season. 53-45 Eagles, but 15 team turnovers for W&L tonight. Mid-range for Stansel, in and out, off the glass, halfway down, won't fall. And Brueggemann runs the floor for the Generals. Brueggemann going all the way to the rim. The Generals wanted the shot to count as the layup goes in. No continuation in college basketball, though, and the reach-in was called first. It'll be the second on Turner, third team foul. And the Generals will take it out with 14:52 to go. Shot clock will be at 24 for Washington and Lee. And Kearns will throw the inbounds pass down low. Lob into William Brueggemann, who still is stuck on 2 points tonight. He averages almost 14, and he scored 24 against Emory and Henry on Saturday. Kearns the drive and dish, and a player control foul called. Some contact inside. Ken Stansel got the whistle to go his way, and that's the third on Devin Kearns, and another Washington and Lee turnover. It has been a tough night for Kearns. 6 points and a couple of assists. And he's turned the ball over more than his fair share in this game. Third all-time at W&L in assist. Just one of those nights. Good ball pressure from the Eagles. At the other end, Bridgewater on offense. Greer from the foul line. The drive, the floater up, and good. And again, it's a 10-point game. Davrion Greer's got 8. 55-45. Krogan top of the key, left side to Lamendola. Lamendola to the corner to Dinnan. Dinnan away to Brueggemann on the wing. Brueggemann, nothing there on the drive, and then he travels. Took steps after picking up his dribble. And chalk up another giveaway for Washington and Lee. 17 turnovers now. And we've still got 14 minutes to go. Here's Sanders on the drive. Feed inside, Greer reverse layup, stuffed by Mitchell. Dinnan outlet to Lamendola. Lamendola hands off to the trailing Brueggemann, who gets fouled. And finally we'll see some free throws for Brueggemann, and Mark Lamendola went down awfully hard. Might have been Brueggemann who ran into him after getting fouled. Lamendola is a tough guy. If he's staying down, he must really be hurt. Our own Ben Greer talked with Mark about his philosophy. He's fouled out of several games this season. 6 of them to be exact, 4+ fouls in 11 games. He's out there for the defense and the energy. He gets a lot of steals. And he says he's got 5 fouls to use. He's going to use them if he needs to. So William Brueggemann to the free throw line. Lamendola has popped up and headed off the court. Generals need these to go down for Brueggemann. They normally do when he's at the line. The best foul shooter in the ODAC, the sophomore from Houston. Coming in at 89.5%. He did not miss a free throw until January. And he's only missed 6 this season. Now he's missed 7. That one was hanging on the rim for a while but would not fall. 55-46 Eagles. 13:43 to play second half. Sanders back in for Bridgewater. Sends it left side to Murray, who fires up the 3. That rims out. And Curtis Mitchell collects rebound number 11. Devin Kearns for Washington and Lee. Stomps on the left wing. Hits the cutting Alex Starr. Starr trapped down low by Kamen and then stripped by the help defender Chambers. Chambers, transition, Mitchell, big block, a late whistle, but it looked like some body contact, and the foul is called. And then Chambers takes a spill. We've had players going down left and right tonight. Mark Krogan fell hard in the first half. Just saw Mark Lamendola leave the floor. Now Chambers is being helped out by his teammates here. Maybe just a little cramp or something. They're stretching him out. Now he'll go to the line after the second foul on Curtis Mitchell, which followed the 18th Generals turnover tonight. Chambers free throw good. He hasn't missed at the line tonight. 22 points. 19 of those coming in the first half when he was 4 of 5 from 3. 10-point lead for Bridgewater. Now 11 as Chambers hits them both, 57-46. Changes for both teams, so now on the floor for Bridgewater, Sanders, Williams, Simpkins, Kamen, and Murray against Starr, Mitchell, Dinnan, McMillan, and Kearns. Curtis Mitchell, right elbow, back to the basket. Gets it off to Devin Kearns. Kearns off the drive, pulls up and sinks the 8-footer off the glass. First points of the second half for Kearns, 57-48, and the Generals back into their 2-2-1 press. Kamen almost had that pass picked off by Kearns. It made it through to Sanders, though. Now Sanders has it between the circles. Right side to Murray. Murray into the lane, back out to Sanders, another deflection for Kearns. Shot clock at 7. Here's Simpkins. Simpkins trying to post up Mitchell, kicks to Sanders for 3, won't go. Offensive rebound by Cameron Williams, and then he's tied up on the way back up as Dinnan reached to hand it and got the basketball, and it belongs to WNL, the alternating possession. Almost an offensive rebound. Well, there was a rebound for Williams. I guess that'll have to be a turnover after the Generals had played really good initial defense there. They're down 9, 12-24 to play. Here's McMillan on the wing, away to Dinnan. Now left side to Kearns. Kearns working baseline, turns it over again, throws it right to Chambers as he got caught in the air, going out of bounds. At the other end, Murray left side three, good. Off the feed from Chambers. Generals keep turning him over. The Eagles keep making him pay. Now Kearns on the drive, all the way to the rim this time, gets the finish. It's 60-50 Bridgewater, 11:54 to go here at Nightingale Hall. Walked across by Jimmy Sanders. Gives it up to Josh Kamen. Kamen back to Sanders. Now a bounce pass to the left side to Murray. Murray into the lane. Terrific feed underneath for Simpkins, who lays it up and in. The Generals maybe got away with a foul there. The lead is 12. McMillan driving and gets the whistle. He'll shoot two. Foul is on Simpkins. He's had a nice game on offense tonight. 1.9 points per game is what he averages. He's got 8 markers in this contest. Season high. First free throw good for McMillan, his 14th point. He has scored at least 19 in each of the last 4 games. But the Generals just treading water right now. They're down 11 with 11:27 to go. McMillan's second is good. So after a stretch in which he was really struggling at the foul line, McMillan is 6 out of 6 tonight. He has trimmed the margin down to 10, and the Generals will take a timeout, as will we. 62-52 Bridgewater, still a lot of basketball left to play.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off.
We'd do anything for kids, yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
$11:27 to play in the second half. Bridgewater leading Washington and Lee 62-52. 19 turnovers for WNL tonight. Those have led to 23 Bridgewater points. The Eagles aren't tied for first in turnovers forced, and we've seen some good takeaways for the Eagles, but we've also seen some bad giveaways by Washington and Lee. Traveling violations, other miscues that you just don't see the Generals commit, at least with the frequency that we've watched tonight. And yet, this WNL team first in the ODAC in scoring. They are far from out of this game, especially with so much time remaining. Denon, Kearns, McMillan, Starr, and Mitchell will play against Greer, Kamen, Chambers, Sanders, and Murray. Eagles going the length of the floor, and the Generals again picking up some pressure. Comes into Murray, picked up by Denon. Bridgewater, pretty small team, but that tends to mean you got more guards and more ball handlers on the floor. So they haven't had a whole lot of trouble with the Generals' press tonight. Chambers, right wing, driving baseline, reverse layup, blocked by McMillan, who will run the floor for the Generals. And then have his pocket pick. Chambers stuck with it, poked it away from behind. At the other end, Murray for 3. That's good from the left corner. Not the first time tonight that Murray has canned a transition 3 after a Generals turnover. And another one. Kearns feeds it down low to Mitchell, and then the ball's stolen away by Murray. Mitchell racing back to knock away a pass from Murray, but Murray gets it back and hits another 3. It's a 16-point Bridgewater lead. The Eagles have knocked down 12 3 balls tonight, 12 of 24 from long range. McMillan deep right corner. Working baseline, guarded by Greer, gets into the lane, hands off to Mitchell, gets his man out of the way, misses the open layup, and it's out of bounds off of Mitchell. Bridgewater basketball. He did the hard part to make the nice move, just a drop in, but he could not finish the play. 68-52, 10:18 to play. Chandler Murray has hit 4 threes tonight, 3 of those coming in the second half, all in the last couple of minutes. Chambers out front. Ball comes around to Murray. Guarded by Lamondola. Murray into the lane. Spin move. 8-footer is up. No good. And another rebound for Mitchell. He's got a dozen. Ahead to Denon. Now to Kearns. Kearns on the drive. Mid-air adjustment. Jump shot, no. Battle for the rebound. Kearns and Greer waiting for the whistle. A held ball. Now we get it, but Bridgewater has the arrow. So back to the Eagles, who lead it by 16, 9:47 to play. This Bridgewater team came in shooting 31% from three-point range on the season. And again, 12 out of 24 from beyond the arc tonight. The Generals just 3 of 13. Chambers, lob inside to the cutting Stancil, lays it up and in and gets fouled. It's really unraveling. And quite quickly for Washington and Lee at the moment. A three-point play chance for Ken Stancil, who's already converted one of those in this second half. He can put Bridgewater up by 19 with 9:33 to play. And he'll do exactly that. 71-52. 9-0 stretch for Bridgewater after the last timeout. 2 3 balls from Murray. Now the old-fashioned three-pointer from Stancil. McMillan into the lane. Tries to feed Mitchell. It's knocked away again. Comes to Kearns. And then the ball out of bounds. Kearns dribbling it out of bounds. Right in front of the WNL bench. The Generals wanted a foul on Murray, but they don't get it. And instead, the 22nd Washington and Lee turnover of the game. That's how many they committed here last year in a 17-point loss. That's how many they have been guilty of tonight with still better than 9 minutes to go. Murray for the Eagles around a screen from Kamen. Gives it away to Sanders. Sanders to the foul line. Kick out to Chambers. Chambers, ball knocked away by Kearns. It goes out off of Chambers. So now the Generals have a takeaway of their own. That's the 11th Bridgewater turnover. 9 minutes to play. 71-52 Eagles. Mitchell at the foul line. Takes the handoff to Lamendola. Bounce pass looking for the cutting Kearns, and it goes out of bounds. 23rd turnover. Ball comes into Sanders. He'll sprint up the floor. Bounce pass ahead to Kamen. Back to Sanders, and might the Eagles think about shortening this game just a bit? Even with the big lead, they know the Generals are capable of putting up points in bunches. Sanders off the dribble, mid-range, no. Rebound to McMillan. 8:25 to play. Kearns working up against Murray. Fouled by Murray, no call. Kicks to Lamendola, left corner three, no. And a Generals foul on the rebound. That'll be on Mitchell. That's his third. It's also the 8th team foul, so we'll see 1 and 1 at the other end. See who the player fouled was. It looks like it'll be Ken Stancil. 2 of 2 at the line tonight. 73% on the year is Stancil. Looking to add to a 19-point Bridgewater lead. Front end of the 1 and 1 is good. All 7 of Ken Stancil's points have come here in the second half. After he got in foul trouble very shortly after he had checked in the ballgame in the first. Still hasn't missed at the line. Second one goes, it's 73-52. Tevin Panchel leaves it out front to Roy McMillan. Takes the handoff to Lamendola, sends it left side to Tevin Panchel. Now away to William Brueggemann. Brueggemann, another errant pass. Panchel saves it in, but it comes to the Eagles. Kamen, transition, fouled by Brueggemann. He'll shoot 2. So 2 for Kamen, who is 1 of 3 at the line tonight. Just a 56% foul shooter. Clock stop with 7:54 to go. The Eagles up by 21. Kamen hits. That is his first point of the second half, 10th of the ball game for the sophomore from Covington, Georgia. Kevin Dennen back in for Mark Lamendola. Kamen's second free throw good. The Eagles are 10 of 10 at the foul line in the second half. Combine that with all the threes that have rained in, and they've got a 75-52 lead. Tevin Panchel, right sideline for W&L. Out front to William Brueggemann. Left wing Curtis Mitchell. Shot fake. Mitchell driving baseline. Kick out to Denon. Denon on the attack. Gets to the rim. Layup is good. Rolled around the rim a couple times, but it falls in. Kevin Denon's got 10 points, and that breaks a 13-0 Bridgewater run. 75-54. Now Chambers up top for the Eagles. To Cameron, hands off to Murray, looking for another three. That one rimmed out. He's feeling it though, Chandler Murray. What a second half he's had. Roy McMillan stomps right wing. He'll pop a contested three and hit it over top of Josh Cameron. Roy McMillan's got 18, 75-57 as we approach the 7-minute mark. Up the floor comes Murray. Gives it back to Chambers. Chambers from the midcourt logo, starting ahead, driving it on Mitchell, layup good and one. Curtis Mitchell did not have a single foul in the first half. He's got 4 here in the second. The Eagles have not been afraid to go right at the ODAC blocks leader. And it's a three-point play opportunity for Dimitri Chambers, but he went down again. He was slow to his feet earlier this half, and now limping back toward the foul line. Chambers with 25 tonight, approaching career-high territory. He's scored 28 points in 3 different games across the first 2 years of his collegiate career. Already over 650 points. And finally misses at the foul line. The rebound tapped to Denon. It's 77-57. Generals racing down the floor. They have numbers, and Alex Starr will take advantage with a layup. Chandler Murray turns and throws his arms up in exasperated fashion after a missed free throw. It was a 3-on-1. Fast break for Washington and Lee. Eagles haven't made that many mistakes tonight, though. They've got an 18-point lead, 6:26 to play. Chambers attacking again. McMillan with a rejection off the window, but it's grabbed by Davrion Greer. His follow-up is good, and the Eagles will call the timeout. They're up 79-59 with 6:21 to play.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Soon enough, it was up to me to be his housekeeper and financial manager, too. When he moved in, I became his cook and even his nurse. But no matter what roles I play, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the roles you play. So to help, we created aarp.org/caregiving, where you can connect with experts and other caregivers. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Jeremy Franklin back with you. Been a rough night for Washington and Lee. The Generals down 20 on the road to Bridgewater with 6:21 to play. Things going much better back in Lexington. W&L up 66-48 with about 2 minutes left in the women's game against Randolph, as that Generals team looks to get to 10-4 in conference play. Generals have the basketball. 24 W&L turnovers tonight. Hard to beat anybody when you can't take care of the basketball. McMillan on the attack, stripped, got it back, throws up a tough shot, no, air ball, but rebounded by Denon, and he is fouled underneath the basket. Should be a couple of free throws coming for Kevin Denon. Josh Cameron picking up his 3rd foul, and Denon will indeed shoot 2. 10 points for Kevin Denon tonight. The 9th time he's been in double figures this season. First free throw is good. He doesn't shoot a lot of foul shots, mostly content to hang around the three-point arc, where again he leads the conference in three-point percentage. Hitting the first, he's now 4 of 4 at the line on the season. And now 5 of 5. So Denon's got a dozen, and it's 79-61. 5:59 remaining. Generals pressing, and they got a takeaway. Lamendola gets it to Brueggemann. He bricks the three ball. Kearns with the rebound. Now kicks to Denon. Open right side three. That's no good as well. Another offensive board, this time for Lamendola. So the Generals at least still competing. And then Lamendola dribbles right into trouble and turns it over again. Transition, Davrion Greer, layup, no. And the ball knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. It'll go back to Washington and Lee. 5:37 left, 79-61. Dimitri Chambers back in for Murray. Here's Roy McMillan returning in place of Alex Starr. Washington and Lee is now 4 of 17 from 3 tonight. Bridgewater 12 out of 25. Kearns up top for Brueggemann. Right side, McMillan. McMillan dribbles to the foul line, hands off to Denon, to Brueggemann, right corner. Three ball is up. Finally gets one to go. Just the second field goal for Brueggemann tonight. Mark Lamendola knocks away the inbounds pass, right back across the baseline. Curtis Mitchell will sprint back in place of Denon. It's a 15-point game, 5:16 to go. And Chandler Murray returning for the Eagles. Out goes Stansel. Now Mitchell will guard the inbounder Chambers. He's got to hold his spot because the ball was knocked out. And Brueggemann hanging on to Murray on the inbounds pass. Eagles are in the double bonus, so it's 2 free throws on any common foul. And Murray will head to the line for the first time tonight. 79.6% at the stripe this season. Bridgewater has been very good at the line tonight, 15 of 18. Only one miss in the second half, 10 of 11. Make it 11 of 12. First one good for Murray, his 13th point. And his first point that has come from inside the three-point line. Second one good as well. It's 81-64. Brought ahead by Kearns. Bounce pass up top to McMillan. He'll get it to right side to Brueggemann. Back to McMillan from the right corner. Driving, double team. Feeds away to Mitchell. Touch pass to Lamendola. Lamendola on the attack. Stripped. Able to poke it back out to Brueggemann. Works right baseline. Misses a 14-footer. Kearns with the rebound. Feeds the corner to Brueggemann. Brueggemann driving in again. Layup good and one. Washington and Lee, the one area where the Generals have a big advantage tonight is on the glass. They are plus 21. Just haven't generated a ton of second chance points. Only 7 before that last bucket for Brueggemann. And he does draw the fourth foul on Josh Cammett as well. 7th team foul on the Eagles. Brueggemann's free throw good. And the Generals pull within 14. Still 4:46 to go. And Sanders having trouble finding a teammate to inbound to. Finally gets it to Murray. Murray gets it over and slows it down. Sanders up top for the Eagles. Guarded by McMillan. 14 to shoot. To the baseline, Davrion Greer. Backing down Kearns into the lane. Trying to lean around, and the ball knocked away by Brueggemann and picked up by Lamendola. The Generals with the steal. Ahead comes Kearns. And an offensive foul. Well, that's a cheap call. Ken Stansel just undercut Devin Kearns, who threw his forearm out to protect himself and gets called for the charge. That is a bad, bad call. It's also the fourth foul on Devin Kearns. You have to give a player room to move, and Stansel did not do that. Stansel trapped on the baseline after the inbounds pass, gets it ahead to Sanders. Now to Murray. Numbers for the Eagles, but they want to run some clock. Smart basketball here, up by 14, 4 minutes to go. Stansel on the cut. Lamendola elevates to block this shot, but evidently got a piece of the hand as well. And he's got to be careful here. Max Anderson did not like the reaction. Good piece of officiating that time, though, rather than fire up a technical. Max Anderson calmly talks to Mark Lamendola. And then Ken Stansel goes to the line and hits the first of his 2. He is 5 of 5 at the foul line. 9 points tonight, all in the second half for Ken Stansel. Scoreboard currently shows Bridgewater up 81-5. It has felt like that at times tonight, but it's actually 82-67. That has been repaired. 4:05 to play. Stansel will try to push the margin back to 16. And he does. If the Generals are going to come back in this game, they need the Eagles to start missing some free throws. Bridgewater currently not cooperating, 14 out of 15 at the line in the second half. Devin Kearns drives in and gets fouled. And he'll shoot a couple. Kearns 2 of 2 at the line tonight. He does have 10 points. 4 Generals in double figures. Curtis Mitchell had the first half double-double. He's got 13 and 13. Roy McMillan has scored 18. Kevin Dinnan 12. And Devin Kearns now with 11 as he hits the first free throw. 3:58 to go. It's 83-68. Second shot for Kearns, got that as well. Generals are 9 of 10 at the foul line in the second half. Not too many other things have gone right, though. Total of 26 W&L turnovers in this game.
Yep, guard it.
And those have led to 33 of Bridgewater's 83 points. Here's Greer, left side, 3 up, in and out. Rebound to Mitchell, 3:38 to play. Kearns an overhead pass to McMillan, going 1-on-2, and has the shot promptly rejected by Greer. It'll be out of bounds to Washington and Lee as William Brueggemann checks back in. In for Lamondola. Generals down 14. Into Mitchell. Mitchell back out to Kearns. Kearns working baseline. Still going. Gets it away to Dinnan. Did that pass go out of bounds? Yes, it did. Tight angle for Kearns to try to squeeze that one in. And another W&L turnover. And it comes to Murray. Ahead to Greer. Greer going for the dunk. Ooh, he got rejected by Mitchell. Some contact in there, and then Greer hit the deck with the thud. And that'll be the end of the night for Curtis Mitchell. 5th personal foul for the sophomore from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Had a great first half. He has gotten into foul trouble, obviously, here in the second half. All 5 of his fouls after halftime. So Mitchell will finish with 13 points and 14 rebounds. And he will leave with 3:19 to go. But right now, Davrion Greer, who went down hard, getting some attention on the baseline. 3:19 to play. It's Bridgewater 83 and Washington and Lee 69. We'll be right back.
You just heard this exact message without the s and s. If that was to understand, imagine your local hospital was missing the LD types. Schedule to redcross.org. You just heard this exact message without the A's, B's, and O's. If that was hard to understand, imagine your local hospital was missing the A, B, or O blood types, and a loved one was in desperate need of a blood transfusion. Schedule to donate at redcrossblood.org.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Chris Pine. Children's Miracle Network hospitals are amazing places. It takes tremendous resources to care for sick and injured kids and to keep them smiling and laughing even during their toughest treatments. That's why donations are so very important. Please join me in supporting your children's hospital so every kid has a chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Well, Davrion Greer able to walk off the court, but looking a little dazed. Took a very hard fall on the foul from Curtis Mitchell. Ken Stancil takes his place in the game and at the foul line, and Stancil hits another. He is now 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Bridgewater up by 15. Make it 16. Another one up and in for Stancil. 85-69, 3:19 to play. So Stancil out there with Chambers, Murray, Kamen, and Williams against Brueggemann, Denon, Kearns, McMillan, and Lamendola. That foul on Mitchell, his 5th. There's McMillan on the drive, double pump, no. Rebound knocked around and grabbed by Cameron Williams. 3 minutes left, Eagles up by 16. Looking for their 4th ODAC win, and one that may very well in the end put them over the top and into the 10-team ODAC tournament. Only 10 of 13 qualify. And now Devin Kearns has fouled out. He went for a steal against Chambers, and he picks up his 5th personal foul. Devin Kearns has had a lot of fantastic games, a lot of great nights in his career. This was not one of them. 12 points and 2 assists and a bunch of turnovers tonight. And he is disqualified with 2:48 to go. Dimitri Chambers, first free throw good. He's the only Eagle who has missed a foul shot in the second half, but for the game he is 8 of 9. Bridgewater now 22 of 25 at the foul line. 17 out of 18 here in the second half. 18 of 19, both good for Chambers, 87-69. You will not win a lot of games when you turn the ball over 27 times, as the Generals have done. You will not lose a lot of games when you shoot free throws as well as the Eagles have, especially with the volume that they've taken foul shots tonight. Alex Starr down low, kick to Tevin Panchel, open for 3. That's good. First points of the night for Tevin Panchel, 87-72, 2.5 to go. Good long pass from Kamen to Sanders to break the Generals' press. And Sanders will dribble back to midcourt and try to run a little bit of clock. Denon pressuring out there. Sanders through the lane, and then on his way back out got tripped up by Panchel inadvertently, but certainly contact. And Jimmy Sanders went down a little awkwardly, but he is back up and headed to the line for the first time tonight. Sanders, the rookie, a 70% free throw shooter. His team already up by 15. The Eagles will clear off the blocks. First one for Sanders, good. His 6th point. Second shot, got that as well. Eagles excellent, and then some at the foul line in the second half. Not a bad foul shooting team coming in, 67%, but they're up close to 90% tonight, and well above that in the second half. 2 minutes to go. Brueggemann takes a bump from Chambers at the elbow. It'll be the 3rd on Chambers. It's the 9th team foul on the Eagles, so 1-and-1 for William Brueggemann. He's got 9 points tonight. Trying to get into double figures for the 15th time this season. Scored at least 7 points in every single game for Washington and Lee. Saw the flashes of that during his rookie season as he hits the front end of the 1-and-1, but then that campaign derailed by illness. 3rd on the team in scoring behind the 2 accomplished seniors, McMillan and Kearns. Brueggemann hits them both. It's 89-74 with exactly 2 minutes left. And ahead comes Murray as Brueggemann tries to deny Chambers the basketball. Murray will hang on to it. Generals ratcheting up the pressure with some double teams, needing to force some turnovers of their own here. So far the Eagles doing a good job of playing keep away. Shot clock at 9. Now Chambers will get it back near midcourt. Chambers around a big screen from Stancil, and he lost it on the drive, but not all bad for the Eagles. They ran off 28 seconds before turning it over. Generals get it back with 1:31 to go. Hanchel working the right wing. Hands off to Roy McMillan. And a reach-in foul. A cheap one that time on Stancil. That'll put Roy McMillan at the line for 2. McMillan, 6 of 6 at the line tonight. He's got 18 points. Clock's down with 1:21 to go. First one here, up and good. Now a chance for his 7th 20-point game of the season. And he's got it. 89-76. The Eagles go over the top of the Generals press, and Ken Stancil with a big one-handed throwdown. What a second half Stancil has had. 14 points all after the break. At the other end, McMillan to drive the finger roll for 2. But the Eagles can certainly afford to trade baskets here, 91-78, as we hit the final minute of the game. And now Cameron gets fouled, and the Eagles will go back to the line. That's the 4th on McMillan. Curtis Mitchell and Devin Kearns have already fouled out. By my count, Bridgewater 20 of 21 at the foul line in the second half. And finally a miss there. Cameron short on the first of his 2. Second one for Cameron. Good, 92-78. Stancil driving to the right corner, gets it away to Alex Starr. Looking for a 3-point opportunity. Here's McMillan. He'll take a deep one from the left wing. It won't go. Good rebound by Brueggemann. Stick back is up. No good off the back iron. And the ball battled for and won by Starr, down to 40 seconds in a 14-point game. McMillan drives, double pump, layup, good. And then a timeout called by Chris McHugh with 35 seconds to play. 92-80, our score. Tonight's broadcast of Generals basketball here on WLUR and WLUR All Access has been brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Celebrate your favorite Generals team with a sports tee, decal, or hat. If you can think of it, we probably have it. The store is open 7 days a week. It is owned and operated by WDL. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic, alumni, and student programs. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive online promotions. Go Generals! Well, some good news for WNL basketball fans. The final score in Lexington tonight in women's hoops, 66-48 in favor of the Generals as they take down Randolph behind 20 points from Taylor Casey, 18 from Andy Smithy. WNL gets to 10-4 in the ODAC and 14-7 overall. They will head to first place Guilford on Saturday. 36.1 seconds to go here. They put a second and a 10th back on the clock after the timeout. It's 92-80 Bridgewater. Baseline pass, not a bounce pass. You don't see that too often. Chambers to Sanders to get it back in. But that is legal after a made basket, just like running the baseline. And the Generals will extend the game just a bit. They will foul and put Chambers back at the line. Chambers is 9 of 10 at the charity stripe tonight. Leads all scorers with 27 points. If he hits both of these free throws, he'll set a new career high. First one up and good. Dimitri Chambers, 28 points on 3 occasions, including non-conference games this year against Oglethorpe and Buffalo State. Second shot, and he misses, so he may end up just tying the career high. He's had a heck of a game here tonight. Now he fouls William Brueggemann. Just reached out and grabbed him on the way by. It looks like because he's favoring his leg again. I guess thought he would rather give the foul than allow the Generals to go down and get an open look at 3 if they were playing 5-on-4. That's what he's going to tell his coach. William Brueggemann, good on the first free throw. Chambers has exited here and been replaced by T.J. Turner. Brueggemann's second good, 31.7 seconds left, 93-82. Ball comes into Cam, and the Generals chasing after him. That's who they want to foul if they can give it. And instead they get a turnover. Cam double teamed on the sideline, and the ball goes out of bounds. Some contact but no call until Washington Lee gets it back with 25.4 seconds left. Down 11. Panchel on the drive. Panchel's runner-up off glass and good. It's a 9-point game. And a quick foul with 19.8 to play. I believe it's Jimmy Sanders who is headed to the line. It is Sanders. 93-84. Just under 20 seconds left. Sanders is 2 for 2 at the line tonight. Again, the Eagles backing off the block. Sanders first, no good. Gus Wise is in for the first time tonight for the Generals, the 6'7" first year from Winchester. Sanders second, got that, so the lead is 10. Wise was in for defense. Roy McMillan back in for offense. McMillan has 4 personals. And Panchel will sprint ahead. Give it to Starr, right corner. He needed to take the 3, instead a one-handed two-point attempt. Ugly looking shot from Starr, it doesn't go. The Eagles have it, and now they can just dribble out the clock. Turnovers, and great three-point shooting from the opposition. Too much for Washington and Lee to overcome, and Bridgewater gets the win on the road here tonight by a count of 94-84. The Eagles improve to 4-7 in the conference, 9-11 overall. The Generals fall to 13-7 on the season, and now 6-5 in ODAC play. Roy McMillan leads Washington and Lee with 24 points. Double-double for Curtis Mitchell. He had that by halftime. Finishes with 13 points and 14 rebounds. William Brueggemann had 13 points, 12 apiece for Kevin Denon and Devin Kearns. Both Mitchell and Kearns fouled out late in the second half. Dimitri Chambers ties his career high with 28 for Bridgewater, 14 apiece from Chandler Murray and Ken Stansel. All but 3 of those points between the two players came in the second half. All 14 for Stansel and 11 of Murray's 14 as well. Josh Kamen had 12 points and Davrion Greer with 10, 8 apiece for Jimmy Sanders and Monty Simpkins. Tough loss for Washington and Lee, but the Generals turned the ball over 27 times in the game. And those 27 giveaways led to 35 Bridgewater points. The Eagles also hit 12 three-point shots on 26 attempts, and they would finish 28 of 34 at the free throw line. By my count, 23 out of 27 in the second half. Well, the Generals came up here on almost this exact date last year, January 31st of 2018, had a tough loss to the Eagles with a Virginia Wesleyan home game next up on the schedule. It is the same setup for Washington and Lee. The Generals struggled here at Bridgewater last year. They were in kind of a swoon at the end of January, and they came back out and, they laid a whooping on Virginia Wesleyan. Dave Macedo will be reminding his team of that game. You have no doubt about that. Generals beat the Marlins by 24 on the first Saturday in February. Last season, they would take a 1-point win in quadruple overtime if that's what it takes. But a big game for Washington and Lee, trying to bounce back against the Marlins at home. That's at 2 o'clock on Saturday. You can watch our broadcast live online at generalsports.com. Hope that you'll join us then. Our thanks to Jeremy Absu back in the WLUR studio, as well as to Andy McEnroe and the great folks at First Team Broadcasting. I'm Jeremy Franklin saying so long from Nightingale Hall. Final score in ODAC men's basketball tonight. Bridgewater 94 and Washington and Lee 84. Thanks for listening here on WLUR All Access and WLUR Lexington 91.5 FM.